Dear students, in the second video of the first unit, we'll discuss complex emergencies, do's and don'ts for some important disasters, and also uh, how the climate change induces disasters. So complex emergencies means if there is any emergency, for example, if there is any volcano or forest fire, or if there is any pandemic or anything for that matter, it gives rise to so many other problems, like an avalanche. Continuously one problem gives rise to other problem, and so on. It's happening. It just gives rise to the other issues. Uh, one the basic needs such as food, water, shelter, medications become very crucial at the time of disasters. So there are a lot of conflicts among the people of about receiving the benefits that are being given by the government, and which part of the people are more benefited, whether everyone are fairly getting the benefits that are being given by the government on time, are they receiving it, if there is any delay in receiving the funds or any medication, that gives rise to so many commotions. People fight, and this gives rise to many other problems, and especially when we are trying to um, evacuate the complete population, a massive economic dislocation also happens because of that. So famine, during the time of famine and all, distribution of food. So complex emergencies basically means one many other problems which a government will have to handle when a disaster happens. So the next topic is the climate change. We are very much aware that the because of the inventions and our latest technologies, there is a great increase in there is a change in the world temperature. The rising temperature, global warming is happening, and the carbon emissions needs to be cut down in order to maintain it properly. But unfortunately, it takes a long time. Even India wants to become carbon free by 2040s around. But then, to achieve this, it is not so easy, because most of the industries start emitting carbon, adding up to the temperature in the world. So climate change is a very important thing that is impacting not only human beings but all the living creatures. So if we take for example the change in temperatures in the ocean, so the global temperature is changing, melts the icebergs in the you know in the polar regions, so that increasing the sea level. It is afraid that it has been the scientists are warned that if the emissions are going to be still increasing, and there will be a rise in global temperature or 1 degree, and that in turn will cause the cities, the coastals, the sea level will increase. Because of the temperature, the melting glaciers will increase the sea level. When the sea level increases, the coastal cities all will be flooded, and most of the cities would be under. The scientists are warning that the cities would be underwater. So and not only that, even the ocean's temperature, the sea beds have coral reefs. Coral reefs, get affected. Many of the living creatures and organisms in the coral reefs are also affected because of this, and this in turn will totally affect the ocean ecosystem as well. So in many ways, the changing climatic conditions also happens because of these global warming, and the summer becomes very hot, the winter becomes very cold. So such things happen. So impact of climate change on human health, we can air population, then also change in the vector ecology, that is dengue, malaria increases. So also we become allergic to the respiration is a problem. Like there are allergens which affect the respiratory system of human beings. Water quality impacts, so cholera and waterborne diseases can take place. So malnutrition, it is supply chain, because food and water supplements can be affected. So environmental degradation can also happen. We'll have to bear extreme cold, extreme heat, and this is the impact of the climate change on human health. Let us see some do's and don'ts during disasters. So during earthquake, uh, we have to do rescue and first aid training should be given. It's better that if the area is often frequented by earthquakes and the frequency of earthquake is more, the buildings have to be built as have to be um, uh, made as earthquake resistant buildings. And it's better everyone, better they come out of the house, choose an open area. And even if they are cannot escape, children can be taught to lie under steel tables, and they can be away from high rise buildings. So these are do's and don'ts. They have to inform others, and they have to take care of the sick people, and they should not close the doors during earthquake. So when you're driving, it's better stop, come out of the vehicle, lie down, and avoid electric poles and weak structures. So walking, don't run, lie down, and we have to keep calm. So if there are any high-rise buildings, use staircases, avoid elevators, don't jump through the window or switch off the electricity. Next is, if it is tsunami, we have to be the do's are that we have to constantly listen to the warnings, listening to the radios and televisions. We have to, if there is any warning, we have to evacuate immediately. We have to take the disaster supply kit, stay away from the coastal area, and when we are moving, evacuating from that area, we have to take our animals, and the livestock should also be evacuated. So we have to climb up tall buildings in order to escape from tsunamis. So when people are in the sea, when they are in the boat, it's better that they don't come to the port near the coastal area. They have to be in the middle of the sea in order uh, to be safe, to remain safe during tsunami. And after once a tsunami is after striking, tsunami has struck that area, and we have to check whether the buildings are really safe. We have to inspect the cracks, and if electricity is there, we have to properly see it, that there might be shocks, and there might be some creatures, snakes and poisonous animals which might have made their way into the house through the water that was through the tsunami. And it's important we have to take care of such things, and do not drink water in an area where the tsunami is stuck, and we have to take drink different water which is given by the government. When it is cyclone, so it's better to always you know uh, we have to be in a water resistant building. Cyclones can give rise to floods and all that, so it's better uh, we have to take care of ourselves. So we have to prepare a vulnerable area. The government has to prepare an area, the vulnerable area map, which tells which are the population, which population, the people in which area they'll be affected badly. So water resistant buildings are to be properly used. So better temples for very highly accommodating big structures like temple churches can be used as shelters. And also if there are electric lines, it's better they can install the electric lines underground, so that the electric posts do not get affected by the cyclone. So don'ts are that avoid building houses on coastal areas, and trees are they remain as a saviors during the cyclone. So do not cut down on the tree. It's better to live in areas where a lot of people are living, not to build houses in isolation. So floods, we have to keep the flood vigil. We have to listen to the flood warning. Yes, and also We have to take the livestocks with that, and the toilet should be covered with the sandbags, so that the water does not get fixed mixed the toilet water does not get mixed with the flood water. We have to be careful of the insects and poisonous snakes as well. And not to do don'ts during a flood: we need not panic, avoid carrying heavy articles, and avoid starving as well. Fires of very different types. We have to identify what is the cause of the fire. Immediately we have to try to extinguish the fire by using the types of fire extinguishers that we have: A, B, C, D, E, K. Such Depending upon the nature of the fire, we have to use proper extinguishers, and we have to crawl to escape the fire. It's better we call the fire brigade to put off the fire. So do not on or any electric devices during the fire. We have to keep the candles and matches away from children. Smoking should be avoided. Avoid untapped naked wires. So landslides are also one of the important disasters. So we have to, if we are going to plant more shrubs, and forests are going to be there, you know we can really save. The landslides may be controlled because the roots will hold on firmly to the soil, and the soil will be firm. So sound construction techniques, when they are building sound construction, good construction techniques should be followed. And there must be retaining walls arrangement in order to prevent the landslide. And don't avoid constructing house in where the existing landslide often happens. And do not construct on steep areas, and also near the mouth of drainage, on flooding areas. So also avoid areas below hills with the crops of fractured rock. So we have to avoid in these areas, so we can be safe if we do it. With this we'll close. Thank you, students.